Okay, so do you want to introduce yourself quickly?
My name is Ramses Underhill-Smith, and I am the Managing Director of Alternative Care Services and ACS Plus. So Alternative Care Services was the first social care provider that had a LGBT HIV focus. I think, I was thinking about this yesterday, that I think my company has been the largest employer of trans people outside of an LGBT company, because we cater for everyone. Lots of our support workers are identified as trans, which is good.
So speaking of identifying, in terms of gender, how would you say you identify?
Well, transgender male.
Okay. And can you tell us a little bit about your transition?
My transition. So I come from northwest London, sort of like urban Caribbean community, and when I was growing up, there was no sort of there was no point of reference at all. I remember seeing The Naked Civil Servant, Quentin Crisp, and thinking, my God, I identify with this person. But when I transitioned, I had to go to America really to properly transition, because I really didn't feel safe here. Mentally, I didn't feel safe. Emotionally, I didn't, and it was quite a thing to do, because I had to leave my family, I had to leave my kids, and I sort of went off to America, and I was there for 15 years. And that's where I was transitioning before, but it wasn't, everything sort of kicked off when I was over there.
So you've actually left the community that you grew up in and that you knew to go and find a safer place.
Yeah, because as much as my family loved me, it's when you live in a community where you're judged a lot, and there's a lot of shaming. So there's shaming around being Black anyway, just generally in the world. And so a lot of people, they don't want an additional shame on top of it. You know what I mean? It's an additional stigma. Why are you making us stand out? And so my family, it's really odd, because I remember a friend of mine who is in the law profession saying to me, well, it must be hard for them. And I had to say, why? What are they going through that's so hard? Someone says something to them, and but that was the whole thing. And people kept saying it must be really difficult for them. Lots of people I know said that to me, and not just people of color, but yeah. And the emotion was always with my family, which made me feel even more guilty. And
It put you outside of your own transition almost.
Yeah. So it was but America was good. I lived in LA for a year, and I lived in New York for like over 10 years. I sort of traveled around America. I did a bit of Texas, I did North Carolina, I did Colorado. I thought, well, I might as well just do the whole thing. So I had a flat in New York, and then I sort of just traveled around working and doing stuff, and then just came back to New York and spent a big chunk of time there. But yeah, it was because I got a green card.
Busy life,
and yeah,
over there.
Yeah, it was good. I worked, and I got a green card, and I was doing all kinds of things. So, but I found that there's a huge community there. You watch that I don't know if you watch it, but there's a program called Pose or something, and that's all. That life is really real in the States.
So what does it mean to you to be a visible trans person in the world?
Really, really, really feel really proud. I feel really special, though. More than pride, I feel really that the world's just not caught up to us, to trans people. And I think, and I say this to young trans people, that, in 10 years' time, they're all going to want to know you. So, yeah, it's like most things, people just, they don't understand, or, it's anything that's other. That, as much as people keep saying, I want to be different, actually, loads of people just want to be the same. You know what I mean? And if you are different, and I know what it's like to be different, because I'll go to an event and people say hello to me, but they won't stand with me. They'll say hello because they want to say, when they see me next in public, they'll say, I'm all right with you. I don't mind. So I said hello to you, but they will never stand with me.
A little bit performative in a way.
Yeah. So it's really, but for me, my visibility means that other people in my community can be visible. or it's it's difficult to do stuff if you don't see it. Difficult to say that I want to step out if you don't see it.
Yeah. So I guess you're kind of straying into the next thing that I was going to ask, which was what led you to choosing to be visible about being trans?
You know what? I'm just not really good at hiding stuff. I'm not a good liar. It's just, it would just be so much work for me. I just thought, what, it's as stigmatizing as it can be. It's easier than me. I just wouldn't be able to remember. It's just too much stress. I talk to
chosen
people.
to not have that emotional burden.
Yeah.
Just go, whatever.
And I don't say it to anybody, but if you Google me, it's there anyway. Do you know what I mean? I don't say to people, but people come up to me and say, I Googled you, like it's a big secret. And I think, well, I put it out there, so you're not telling me anything I didn't know.
So you're not out and shouting and loud and proud to every single person that you meet, but you're not hiding it either. It's kind of just, it's out there. People know.
Yeah. I don't tell, I mean, I don't, it's not in my daily conversation. And a lot of people I work with just have no idea. And some of them do. And, someone said, I saw you I did this book suggestion thing for Lewisham LGBT network once. And so they put us in the library, they put pictures of us. And someone came back and said, I saw you in the Lewisham library. And he was so excited. I was like, okay. So, yeah.
So what does Trans Day of Visibility mean to you?
So I think more than for what happened to me last year is, which really kind of made me feel visible, because I've always felt visible, but made me feel that there's some good that I've done for my family. My daughter posted, my children have been made to feel ashamed of me all their lives, and it's been a very terrible burden for them to carry. And last year, my daughter posted something on my birthday on her Facebook page saying how much she loved me, and that was the first time she had made, one of my children or had made me visible. And I think that being visible about Trans Day of Visibility for me is about loving yourself, because if with all the nonsense that you can sometimes get, being visible means to me that I'm okay with me. I walk past the mirror and I stop sometimes and have a look and go, oh yeah, and it's I'm not gonna. Yes, I think it's important for us for people to respect us, to see us, and to respect trans people. Trans people are amazing people. I always say to young trans kids, you're the X-Men, and that's who we are. They're all like, okay, superhero. But yeah, it's really, I think it's important that because people then say, they often say, oh, I've never seen anyone like that. I don't know anyone like. A friend of mine was talking to her son, and he said, I don't know any trans people, and he's known me all his life. So
I think some people don't see the people who are actually there, do they? It's like, oh, I've never met a trans person. It's like, well, you have, you just haven't necessarily known.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's important to recognize the people that's gone before, all the people that are persecuted, and it's a hard thing to keep remembering, but we've got to keep remembering, we've got to keep counting, we've got to keep saying, what, we have love for you, because you can see that hate can really take hold. And it's a Trans Day of Visibility means that we are visible, and we're not going to stand for, we'll band together to squash that hatred.
Okay, so I've got a slightly mean question next. If you were only giving one piece of advice to an aspiring ally, what would that one piece be? I know there are many things that you're going to want to say, but if you had to pick out one.
If I had to pick out one, I would say you've just got to be the best you can be, whatever that means. Some of us have mental health, some of us, but whatever the best you is, that's all you've got to strive for. Don't worry about anything else. Just be the best you, and everything else will fall into place, whatever that is. Yeah.
Okay. And what would you say to any trans or questioning people out there who maybe haven't come out yet, are thinking about it, haven't yet found their voice?
Take your time. I mean, I think it's important to do things at your own pace. I think what you need to do, what I would say, is to reach out and to try and find some support. A safe space to share, whether that's a hotline, whether that's some therapy, whatever that is. But to be gentle on yourself. Don't be, don't think you should be doing this or you should be doing that. Some people never want to come, and that's okay. Don't judge yourself, because other people are going to judge you severely. So just don't judge yourself. It's not necessary.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Ramses, for helping us out today. And I look forward to booking you for another talk for our members at some point.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks for asking me. Great to see you again.
Likewise.